In a world overflowing with alarming headlines, isn't it easy to feel overwhelmed by the constant stream of bad news? Yet, amidst these current events, there's something profound unfolding. Did you know that some of these happenings might have been foretold centuries ago in the Bible? Remarkably, certain prophecies seem to be manifesting right before our eyes. But how is this possible, and why is it relevant to us today? Join us as we enter an exploration of these ancient scriptures, connecting the dots with today's world events. This isn't just another story. It's an interplay of faith and foresight. When Jesus conversed with his disciples, he wasn't merely sharing stories. He was setting the stage for humanity's future. Almost 2 millennia ago, this pivotal dialogue provided insight into the culmination of history and God's decisive role in it. His teachings, profoundly timeless, offer a unique perspective on the news flashes we see today. Matthew chapters 24 and 25 hold Jesus' detailed descriptions of signs and occurrences foreshadowing the end of times, a timeline that some believe is reflecting in our world now. And then 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 verses 16 to 17 elaborates on a divine moment. The Lord himself will come down from heaven. As world events progress, these ancient prophecies stand not only as historical records, but as potent reminders that perhaps the divine narrative is unfolding right before our eyes. The echoes of Jesus' prophetic words echo even louder today, foretelling a sequence of events that seem all too familiar in our headlines. He warned of chaotic times ahead. Wars, and even just the whispers of wars, would be commonplace. Nations would lock horns in escalating disputes, and calamities such as famines and earthquakes would punctuate these unsettling times. Recent data shows an alarming surge in global conflicts, with many major disputes recorded in just the past decade. Natural disasters, too, have been on the rise, with the last few years witnessing a major increase in seismic activities. Yet, amidst this turmoil, Jesus presented a beacon of hope. He foretold the circulation of the gospel throughout every corner of the world. Today, with the marvels of modern technology, this prophecy is seeing fulfillment. This juxtaposition of a world in chaos and the relentless spread of the good news serves as a stark reminder. The ultimate message of hope and salvation remains undeterred, painting a vivid picture of the prophetic times we may very well be living in. As we shift our focus to the modern realities, it's hard not to recognize the coincidence. In the past decade, the United Nations registered a staggering 40% increase in international conflicts, which astonishingly aligns with biblical warnings of wars and rumors of wars. Yet, looking deeper into these prophecies, a crucial message emerges. Do not be alarmed. The Bible, in its wisdom, never meant for these predictions to cause panic. Instead, it encourages preparedness and fortitude. 1 Peter chapter 5 verses 8 through 9 reminds us to be vigilant and resist the devil, for the adversary seeks the unprepared. Ephesians chapter 6 verse 13 further emphasizes the importance of gearing up for challenges, urging believers to wear the full armor of God to stand against the evil day. This contemporary alignment with prophecy isn't about fostering fear, but fostering faith. The modern-day impact of these prophecies is a call to action, a nudge to strengthen one's resolve in spiritual foundations. As the modern world progresses, we witness an undeniable shift in societal norms and values. It's startling how accurately these changes align with Jesus' forewarning. The Apostle Paul, in 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 through 5, painted a vivid image of the last days, describing people as lovers of themselves, boastful, proud, and having a form of godliness but denying its power. These verses eerily echo today's atmosphere, where unbiblical attitudes and wrongful doctrines have found prominence. The rise of such views can be seen in multiple spheres: media, academia, and even certain religious sectors, leading many astray. In accordance with this, the influence of Christianity, especially in the Western world, has been fading. Acts that were once considered immoral are now normalized, and doctrines that used to be universally revered are now questioned, or worse, twisted. However, amidst this backdrop of spiritual erosion, the prophecies aren't just reminders of a world straying, but also beacons calling back the faithful. They serve as anchors, reiterating the importance of holding steadfast to the truth of the gospel, especially when societal tides are pulling in the opposite direction. From the reflections on societal shifts, it's evident that today's challenges aren't just external, they're deeply personal. We live in an era where sins, once whispered in hushed tones, are now paraded and celebrated. Take greed, for instance. Societies once praised modesty, but contemporary culture often equates success with excessive materialism. The mantra seems to have shifted from less is more to more is never enough. Similarly, lust isn't just accepted, it's commodified. From advertisements to entertainment, the allure of temptation is widespread, making it increasingly difficult for many to remain steadfast in their faith. James chapter 1, verses 14 to 15 cautions, "Each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desire and enticed. Then, after desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin. And sin, when it is full grown, gives birth to death." The gravity of this verse resonates more profoundly today. The modern-day battleground is the heart and mind, and while the challenges are immense, the rewards of staying true to one's faith are eternal. But where do these deceptions originate from? At the heart of many deceptions lies a figure whose craftiness has swayed humanity since its origin: Satan. Known as the father of lies, his cunning was first manifested in the Garden of Eden. We're all familiar with Genesis 3, where he, in the guise of a serpent, whispered doubts into Eve's ear, leading to the fall of mankind. Did God really say? He questioned, sowing seeds of uncertainty and rebellion against divine authority. Today, the same tactics of doubt, deception, and rebellion persist, but they're now modified to suit our contemporary setting. Just as the serpent questioned God's words and intentions, modern narratives often challenge absolute truths, luring society to question established moral frameworks. These subtle shifts in thinking, packaged attractively as progress or enlightenment, mirror the serpent's ancient trick to present disobedience as an attractive alternative to God's perfect will. But be wary. For 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8 warns, "Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy the devil prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour." Just as Adam and Eve were not immune to the deceiver's tactics, neither are we. In our interconnected digital age, Satan's influence is widespread, disguising destructive paths as attractive avenues of freedom and self-expression. Considering the landscape of our world, filled with temptations and deceptions, it's never been more imperative to remain vigilant and prepared. If Satan's deceptions are the storms, then Christ's teachings are the lighthouse guiding us safely to shore. The Bible has always emphasized readiness. In Matthew chapter 24, verse 44, Christ reminds us, "So you also must be ready, because the Son of Man will come at an hour when you do not expect him." It's a reminder that beyond the chaos lies the promise of Christ's imminent return. This glorious event, often referred to as the Day of the Lord, is a focal point in Christian theology. Yet, preparation doesn't merely mean passive waiting. It entails active engagement, aligning our lives with Christ's teaching, fostering a relationship with Him, and sharing the good news. The Apostle Paul, in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 2, writes about the day of the Lord coming unexpectedly, but he also encourages believers to be the children of light, alert and sober-minded. Thus, every decision, every action should be a reflection of this divine preparation. In the whirlwind of today's events, the Bible's prophecies stand firm, echoing through time. As the world transforms, where do you find yourself amidst these revelations? Are you merely a spectator or an active participant preparing for what's to come? Remember, when the final hour ticks, where will you stand? If you liked the video, please like, share, and subscribe.